off. I'm Tamari. I'm from Mass. All right? And a lot has been said about some work that we're doing as a collective body. So I want to speak on, in accordance with today's mathematics and today's degree, about our integrity, you know, of who we are, and our mindset about moving forward with this. And let's be clear, we are not against any building that's building that is going on in wherever in relation to building this up. Not talking about a structure, we're talking about building going on. So that means the classwork, the raking of leaves, the educational, all of that stuff. We are in favor of that. And I'm talking about the 5 brothers that was mentioned in our national paper, right? So I want to speak about, as I said, our integrity. So that's starting off with that. As Hashim said, there was an update by my brothers, Allah, about what we're doing. I want to update that a little more and also speak to the mindset that we have. Because a lot of us came from a lot of different places and have put in significant time to building this up. Much respect to that. Though that same level of respect should be bestowed upon the brothers that came together with a common idea only to help. Not to take away, not to get a new paycheck, not to get notoriety in any type of publication of any sort, whether it be electronic or, you know, old school. Don't make a difference. That wasn't the reason for coming together. And I want that to be, you know, clear, kind of, you know, sound. What's that, 1,120 feet per second?
No, 120.
Yeah, that's what I said. 1,120 feet per second, that's what I said. All right.
Nobody argued that.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. So in that, I want that sound to resonate about what I'm saying. All right? The wisdom, let the wisdom be born. And let's deal with that first. You know, wise ways and actions. You know, so us coming together like that was rooted in the knowledge of Allah. Not in companies, not in, you know, corporations, not in rent, not in gas, bill, none of that stuff. Because what was the core foundation that brought us together? Education, young, community change. We all have that in common, no matter where we came from. And that's the commonality. So that's our focus. Anything that we dealing with concerning those gods that have come together to be about fact finding. Again, let it resonate. Fact finding, meaning getting the information, meaning going back to the root of how things need to be done. Because we all knew that our national showpiece could improve structurally. And I don't mean the actual structure about, you know, we've had the experts, we've had this, we talked about all that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just how it looked. All right? That it could improve. And if we were going from a real estate model, we're not comparable to our neighbors. Because people have, even though we was in the neighborhood before a lot of them that have bought up and all that, you know, I mean, people have made investments and so forth, under, you know, so stuff been going on. All black money ain't out of Harlem. All right, there's still plenty of black money in Harlem, in Mecca. It ain't all gentrified money, but it's a lot. So the point is, nah, we not up to speed with that. So, can we do anything about it? And that was the mindset. Not to eliminate, to say, oh, no, this group of people or this person doesn't have a say or doesn't matter in relation to that. That was never the thought process. Because we know the unenlightened man, that came out of an idea. So we dealing with the idea of the A-like man. All right? That's the 1A, the knowledge of Allah. So that's our root. That's the core values of the people that's involved. And there is no leader there. We allow best knower to lead. So if we dealing with a particular subject matter, if one is qualified to speak on that, then we're going to speak on that. And then we're going to deal with our knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of life and of things to say, well, wait a minute. How that relate back to the young? How that relate back to education? How that relate back to community change? If none of those things are included, that's not a subject that we're dealing with. And again, I want this to resonate because we want to end the conversations about the integrity of the people that's involved to bring information about how to get something done, all right, and share it with the nation and allow the nation to say, that's good, let's move forward. We scared of that, go find out, and not in a negative way, but like, we leery. Wait a minute, because like it was mentioned, oh, well, if we don't pay a note, then somebody taking something. You understand? So you don't want to set up a system where you're vulnerable in that way. That's where the best knowers come in. That's where the mathematics come in the way that we do something. So if the foundation is set properly, and clearly it has been because we're here together. I mean, this is the beginning of my 49th year. And I've been here regularly. When some of y'all that's returning was not. And some of y'all preceded me, and some of y'all came when I came. Yet we know what it was. And it's not a call on judgment, though it's a call on reality in terms of your journey and how you have qualified yourself or disqualified yourself. Therefore, the conversation and the build is about how we have qualified ourselves to be able to come together and say, listen, we want to add on this without accolade, who's gonna say this, that we, none of that. Genuine sincerity, divine love, because we know that it's based upon the mind of Allah, and that we married into that, and that we are willing to take that responsibility that come with that, as much as given, much as required. So therefore, we said, well, let's see what we could do. But we don't own this. Meaning the thought and mind of saying, well, all right, rubber stamp this, rubber stamp that, without talking to people. And we've been doing that consistently. And some agreed, some disagreed, and we was able to draw it up so that there was a clear understanding. That's why I said in the very beginning, we're not against anyone. So, to say all of that, I don't know if it's been said because I had to step out a moment. Pardon me if I'm reiterating or restating what has been said. What we learned is that we need to gain full ownership. And I know a lot of things have been said about what, but let's just take it from this. Maker, owner. So, own your car, own your house, own your clothes, own your food, own your shelter. All right, that kind of goes along together. And all of us are in different places in our life on the say where we able to do that or not. Some might have to get the credit together so that you get a mortgage. Some may have to do cooperative buying for the food or the clothes or whatever, but it's a system that you might have to follow in order to get the things that are needed. And what was mentioned is that, we need to fix our stuff up. Because I'm going to tell you, I came through the time, right, when people was woo-da-woo, coo-da-woo about the gods and that we wasn't nothing good. All right? And that them crazy, this and that, and people scared to even say that out their mouth. about being God and stuff like that. Some of y'all may not experience that because of the neighborhood that you're from. And since you was a little boy, you've been hearing them talk about it. Or a little girl. But that ain't that ain't everywhere on the planet. And that ain't even some of the neighborhoods that y'all is from, because someone had to trailblaze that. That's why we knew that even taking upon this responsibility, we wasn't going to jump and not be inclusive, meaning to let people that need to know. And like they say, if you don't know, then you better ask somebody. And guess what? We got answers. Because we went and did our research. We have qualified ourselves, various brothers in worlds where people is willing to talk to them. And I don't know if everyone understands it, but I would say so because the audience look as all mature. Ain't no little kids in here but my daughter somewhere. She's the only minor in here that I see right now. However, I know where she is. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, dealing with that, we were able to have certain doors open and have conversations with people. And we wasn't on no trade or disappear and somebody not speaking the language. Oh, heck no. We not moving like that. We checking, we asking questions. So all that controversy about, they with the deputy mayor, blah, 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 blah. The main thing, what we said is we want the relationship to renew that Allah had with the office downtown. Because we know, they got the paperwork. We did the research. We sent a God that can't be up in front about it because he worked with the city. Okay? But they found out for us. They went and seen with the paperwork. We need ownership. So we went about the business of finding out how that needs to be done. Right, because over time, what's going to happen is that, so if we're saying for the generations to come, are we going to leave them with 10 years left on our relationship with that office? And then really someone could come in and say who to what and moving stuff around and what? Or we going to wait till that time? I had a red stripe. I don't know if y'all know about a red stripe. That's when you get a red stripe on utility bill, and they gonna cut your bill off because you ain't paid the bill on time. Yeah, that's pressure. All right, we don't need to leave our generation coming behind it with that pressure. That the clock is ticking. What are y'all gonna do with the building? And then none of us ain't around. We got the ones that was right with the man still here to say, wait a minute. Okay. All right. Let's talk about this a little more. All right. Only because of supreme equality. Not because somebody is on some bowing down stuff. You know, and if you are really confident and qualified, what's wrong with being humble? Why you gotta like the brother said about wearing something on the sleeve and all that earlier. What? You already know. You know your capabilities. All right? So we don't have no identity crisis. And some might not like this, but I know the flag, when I saw it, the moon crested over the 7. I was wondering why they wanted to put the 7 over the moon. And as far as me, it seemed like people got an identity crisis about that. But, you know, we'll talk about that later. At another time, because all that time I was looking at the flag and the man was even walking around here and he ain't changing. Y'all went and did that. I don't rock like that. I tell you. You know, because I read the papers and I said it here when they was giving it. So now I'm qualified to give it because I listened, and then also what I listened, not just to come here and talk about it, did it in my own land, everywhere I went. Extending this.
Universal building.
So therefore, even though I'm from Mass, Region 2, and this is Region 1, and really it's a local issue, but we understand that we are one. And that's what I'm talking about in terms of the integrity. We are one. So if Shabu is in need, and even though he's in damn North Carolina, I'm coming. And that's how we're supposed to be.
Coming up there.
All right, so what that means? The school, again, could use a benefit. Not about the program and stuff and all that kind of stuff, but structurally. We want to do something with that other stuff. They done changed the tax roll around and all that kind of stuff, and including everything. Why? Because we held it down. Ain't no other reason. Because if it was all a chop-up situation and an absentee and all of this there, then them big pockets would have came in and influenced people downtown and grabbed it up. So our strength, our unity, our perseverance, our determination, while being broke, or people just holding their money, because we got some big money people amongst us. Men, women, all that. Entrepreneurs, good jobs, six-figure jobs, and company owners and all that. However, we done had some shady people come amongst us and influence people that they was trustworthy, and now we don't see them no more. So everybody got an issue about, well, what's the money, where's the bank account, and who-da-da, and who-da-da. We ain't touching no money. That 5. We not touching no money. So if you hear about donation, the assist in the process, then it's going to the already established entity. But let me give you a little history. You know, I going too long, y'all? Okay. All right. Okay. I'm all right? Get there? All right. Okay. See? And that's the thing. And it's a prime example. All right? Because y'all know. Some of y'all, oh, he think he a little Dumas, whatever. Y'all know that Arlene is more of as much as an influence on who I am as Dumas. But black, slim, so, yeah, you want to talk. I know what y'all say. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. So, what they've been telling me, like you got it, but you can be kind of long-winded. So that's why I have to check in with them. You know what I mean? And just like Hasim said, he's had to get rid of some certain stuff. So we be on him about his temper. Because he be ready to rip people's head off. You like, whoa, gosh, wait a minute. Let's talk about this. All right? This is where we rolling. You know, and then we got Black Justice. He like, listen, if it ain't righteous, it ain't right. And it ain't going to be with it. So y'all better make sure that this is righteous. We get it. And then we got Bilal. He going to make sure that we are presenting in a way that we sound like we got some sense, because he's a doctor in education. So we got all this going on, and that's why we don't have no leader in that, or there's a big eye. We say, well, we're going to defer to your knowledge, but we're going to ask you questions, because we all can read very well, and they're all established. So what we learned, like I said, ain't no paperwork. So, the colored man, who say he one of us, and we gonna see, you know what I'm saying? And one time we gonna shock him, because we gonna bring somebody who was right there with the man, you understand? When he was there as chief of staff for Lindsay. And then let's see how he say, you know, this how I'm looking at it. Because we checking everybody. Yes.
Do anybody have a blue truck out there? The first letter is W and the 2 numbers 76? W76?
Maybe the cafeteria.
Maybe the cafeteria, yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right, sorry.
So no, that's fine. So everyone clear about that blue truck? Okay, so
I'm good.
As I said, so we found this piece of information. So to make it, get to the point is where we're going. What we want to do, all right, is put ourselves in a position to be able to become deed holder. I heard Mayor Andrews mention, his name mentioned a couple times. We ain't met with him yet. But the chief of staff sent a message to us and said, listen, and that was through our brother, again, someone that's in the door. So people comfortable talking. They not comfortable with all of us. All right? So we got to send the right one. That was that whole thing, y'all, at the United Nations, meaning that we sending the right one to represent us, or the right ones to represent us. That's what that meant. Airplane ride. That's making you in tune with where the world is going. Look how high tech we are. And that's why we say we want the children involved, meaning the younger people. They might be little kids to us because some of us in our 60s and 50s. But we talk about 30-year-olds and 20-year-olds and teens to serve on the board. Because that would be the board, you understand, that is the same thing of what the Urban League did in the very beginning. That was only for a very short time. But it was required because the man, meaning Allah, he wasn't with that program stuff. He said he didn't have no program. He had the young though. And I seen him talking, and he said, the 5% I speak for, the 5% I do. So he was the word on that. So we ain't gonna mess with none of that. Though the Urban League served as a conduit. So Allah School in Mecca is now our conduit. So you wanna donate to us fixing up and getting things together? Whatever fund that it is, then send the money there through a Zelle account. And it's tax write-off because that's a non-profit organization. All right, have a record. We got people that is high up on the finances. And I'm not going to say the name right now, but they overseeing. They overseeing what's going on. So no, we're not playing. We're not Rudy Poops. There ain't no pumps. And we're not playing about putting this together in the way that it needs to be done so that the generations behind us can say, this is what we own. Not something that we had and that we preserved, and that if it really got funny and people make wars overnight, that something could happen. But if we have the ownership and then that goes into a trust that is managed by a group, all right, Allah School in Mecca, then they can't never mess with that like that. So we need to prepare ourselves to be able to get the city council approval, the Harlem council approval, and then it goes to the mayor. And y'all already know, he from Baisley Projects and all of that there. Them ask people that's in the nation to help him when he was campaigning. People know him personally, photo ops, wooda, all that. So season, we are in season. So that is why we are not trying to, oh, well, we need to wait and this and that, because it's in season. We got the highest official in the city of New York. We have his ear. We have his ear. So we need to just show up and show out. And who we been? We always been there. Y'all forgot about that? For real. When have you known the real gods not to be, oh, that's them brothers. They ain't messing around. They could fight, they could dance, they get money, they smart in class, they ain't scared of white folks. And we always been there. Or y'all added on with something else. All right, I'm just saying what I know, what this is about. All right? And I brought people from other places to the whole New England, you know, but I'm not here to yada yada about what I'm just here because I'm here to add on. So this is what we want to do. This is what we want to do. We want to prepare ourselves, and it's required steps. Architectural stuff, legal stuff, and then none of that ain't free. So yes, that's the business that we are about at this point. And as we move forward in that, and we begin to do other things to show how that building, them blocks are being built, we come and we speak to that. So that's why we're coming as a group and saying, because every Saturday morning, we dealing with technology. We on Zoom call,
Make
waking
sure
each
you'll
other
invite
up.
me
Wait a
next
minute,
time.
we can't see you. Wait, turn your screen on. How you doing today? Peace, good morning. All this at
I ain't
7:30 in
get
the
that
morning
call
on
yet.
Saturday. What you say?
Brother.
So, that's what we're doing, all right? And that is not against anyone's program here, but we are. Speak a little bit to that right quick as well, all right? And this is about how my brother Hashim was saying about the building that is required, all right? Some of the stuff here, y'all out of control, all right? And you need to really check yourselves. And I know we the guys, we allow 5%, all that, good. But we here new. It's right behind the police station. All that illegal parking and all of that where people can't act, they watching everything we doing. It's because the God and our reputation, because even before us coming together and allow seeking people he knew in the highest offices of the school department here in New York. All right, and his, okay, I'm good, all right. Okay, so before that, because a God that goes back to the original 5%, he had a relationship with this school. All right, he's in another world now, you know what I mean, and the clergy and all that, but he is accessible to us. It has been, and he's opened his church to memorial services and all of that. So those of y'all that know him, know what I'm talking about. And he has that relationship with this school for years. All right? Though the point is, we have to be on our best behavior. So the hanging out outside, the not picking up the trash, and not saying that it's being done. Just saying some of the things that we have been comfortable with in the past, we cannot do that over here. We have to show them our best. Because they watching, they listening, and we want to show them that we have and never changed from being that positive force within the community of Harlem and everywhere else that we at. All right? So we have to show that. So all of that, we got to remember that. When you come, go ahead and get whatever you're getting on, do that before you get here. Parking, park up the block, whatever, because we don't want them just trying to find something. Because they looking, but they want to mess it up. Even though the principal, her husband, the man used to come here to the parliaments. All right, I don't know the brother's name or whatever, but she know, because she said it to the God. To ask the lady at 135. When you gonna let the guards back in your school? So that's somebody that's comfortable with us. All right? So yes, we must do that. The last thing I want to say is there's too much people coming up here and they fussing and arguing and people coming from, out the security. No. Listen, it's an honor to be up here. An honor. All right? And when you come up here, because many of them came before you, and remember that energy has not died. It has changed form. So all that energy is here. And when you come here to speak on the roster, you're supposed to be drawn on that energy. Because you ain't just supposed to say something right up here. You're supposed to say right and exact. Meaning that you have done your homework, you've done your research, and you are in accordance with the mathematics and the degree of the day and how you're living. Not just like church. And a lot of us getting older. Because church, they dress up for church. Like we used to laugh and say, show and prove now, they all showing up. Where was they at in the other months? We used to laugh about that amongst ourselves.
A BMW KLD 4305. Black BMW.
All right.
Peace, God.
Peace, no problem, God. So again, let it resonate. Let it resonate that we must be on our best behavior. Well, there's 4 cars that came in here. And I might have been speaking for a while, but 4 cars, double parked.
That don't necessarily mean it's us.
No, it doesn't. However, the increase of vehicles on this block is us.
Whoever it is, they hear us saying what we're saying, so they should be smart and go get their car moving. But it doesn't mean that it's us.
Okay?
Right.
See, again, Hashim, filtering me. You know, we do that, and I accept that. You know what I'm saying? So we'll include that. It might not be us, but if you think it's you, go check on your house. All right? That's simple. You know what I mean? But though, as I said, we must be on our best behavior across the board because we new over here. And we want people to accept us with our good points and our bad points. All right? And I'm from the school, it don't make a difference. They could have a pint of wine in the back pocket. I still love them as a God. All right? Because I don't want to deny another man and build myself up. If I'm denying another man, I'm denying myself. That's why I'm not big on the puff up, the blow up, the disrespect, and all of that kind of stuff. Go to the source, see what it is, and then move on.
Right.
So, I don't know where my brother went at, but I guess he wanted to say some things. Beloved, he already said.
I just want to do one little presentation.
Oh, hold on, God. You want a question? Oh,
No
that's
question. No
oh, okay.
question.
Oh, you wanted to add on. Okay, but I'm gonna say this. That's good, but I'm from the school like this. When you said what you had to say, you said it, that's it. That's your turn. The extra stuff y'all be doing now, with going up, and what second time, maybe that was because of pandemic and there was a few people to speak, I don't know. Yet, that's not the root of this. This is God. I'm just God. I'm not trying to go back and forth with you. I'm making a statement about what I have seen. So at this point, I still have the roster. When I say peace, then whoever comes next, they say peace, and then they say what they have to say. That's what I always saw. That's why I saw the example and all of that other jumping up and speaking twice and 3 times and all that. I didn't grow up on that. I grew up in the parliament. Again, I'm from Mass, but I've been here as a teenager, and I'm 63 years old now. I'll be 64 in April.
Thank you.
All right? And you look at my face, you're like, oh, you don't look that. Now we don't, and he ain't living like that either. So don't get it twisted, but that's because of this teaching. So I'm just saying, in terms of our level of refinement, wherever you put it in your lessons and all of that, refinement is required, and we need to be refined in how the way we speak to one another when we come here, especially the roster and all that VP and I got this to that and all that. That's not what it was. If you don't get it from who said it, then it ain't for you on this day. Because that's why the parliament, if you get to know your brother and sister, problems that you may have, is going to be solved if you come here and you get to know people, because we got it all here. And with that, I'll say peace.
Peace, y'all. Peace.
Peace to the God. Hey, wait a minute, y'all. Wait just 1 second, 1 second, y'all.
There's something else going on.
Hey, peace to the gods of the earth. Everybody ready to go home or something?
Hold on, God. Peace. I'm about to present something, God.
Oh, you about to present something about the brother that got beat up? Well, God, go ahead, God.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
peace.
God, because I didn't want everybody just to run out.
Due knowledge, y'all. Y'all see this? Y'all know about this, right? Now, us as a nation,
That's Tyre Nichols' name.
that's right, Tyre Nichols, we deal with the signs of being held accountable for those that's uncivilized. So if we out there teaching about black on black crime and violence and stuff like that, maybe some of this type of stuff wouldn't happen. Even though it happened in Memphis, y'all from Now Why and other places know what go on here, you know? And this is a platform where everybody's gonna see that us, the nation of gods and earth, Allah's 5%, we recognize this and we don't agree with it. You see? And that's basically what I want to say. And we want to say peace to their family and send out our condolences to the family. And with that, I'm going to say peace.
Peace. Before we all leave, right? You saw the presentation that just went down up here, right, God? When I did my bill, right, I just built on wisdom born, knowledge, and wisdom, right, God? I didn't deal with nation business, right? I didn't deal with the project that began when 21 turned into 22. And I'm talking about when 2021 turned into 2022, I saw 2122 7th Avenue. Does anybody know what address that is. What's 2122? All right, that's the law school in Mecca. So when 21 turned into 22, on the 4th month, I sent out an SOS. I said, save our school. Because it made sense. I had just seen my father's video, right? This was the first time I saw Allah speak. And he was being interviewed, right? And Gabe Pressman was asking Allah questions, trying to direct him in regard to maybe rejecting Mayor Lindsay and his administration, and the father played right past him. Once I saw that video, something told me to save Allah School in Mecca, so I sent out the SOS, and I began building with some of the brothers that was up here with the presentation, like Beloved, Bilal, everybody was invited to the Zoom, and from April to December, I just want y'all to know, if you want to know about the progress that we've made in revitalizing the law school in Mecca, I can actually send you right now the end of cycle Zoom, where you can see the money that we invested in the school, the money that we spent, right, wait a minute, Beloved, I can send you the money that we spent with the structural engineer, D. Simone. I can show you the money that we spent with the surveyor, Measure Up, and I can show you from the time that we set up the bank account, the Allah School in Mecca Builders Bill Fund. Not only can I show you on the video, it's actually in the paper. So that 5% of the newspaper right there can give you all the details. In it is the actual bank statements from April to December 22nd, where you can see every penny that we didn't just accept. We made sure that we invested in a law school in Mecca because the school knows 120. Why am I saying that the school knows 120? Is that the school is 121 years old. Right now we are in the year 2023. No matter how you add it up, 20 and 23 gonna bring you to 7. This is the year of God. So we're not in conflict. What we are is in collaboration. We come together to build. But every idea that is determined has to have a goal, a purpose, an aim, and an objective. If the aim, goal, and objective, right, for the SOS that I sent out is to make sure that a law school in Mecca is still standing another 120 years, I would expect everyone to support me. Because from a law school in Mecca, we extended that to Lot 29, Block 1932, which is actually a half a block of New York City prime real estate. Now, possession is 9/10 of the law. From 9/10 to 10/10 is 1/10. So the missing ingredient is the knowledge that you say when somebody asks you the above question number 10, whose property is this? The knowledge is, it's mine. That's our property, that's our land. But the 2122 is our crown jewel. Therefore, it is our responsibility that the same people who in 1901 built that building, that we find builders in 2023 that can ensure that a law school in Mecca is still standing for another 120 years. So I am in collaboration with the builders who build. There's no conflict. Ain't nobody coming in here taking nothing from this nation. We is not divided. I can work with everybody, anybody. Steel sharpens steel. There's always been a system of checks and balances, and we just make sure that nobody veers too far off course that can't be corrected. There's always room for course correction. That's what we bring when we bring wisdom born. We bring the course correction because the proper order is the law. And the law is manifested by our Father. Right? Ain't no separation here. We is one God. Remember, just Allah's nation understood and recognized ye are all gods and children of the Most High as the biblical revelation of our physical reality. And Allah showed us why that was our physical reality. So he walked us off the paper. And now here we are, right? Ye are all gods, right? All of y'all son of men. Ye are all gods in the flesh of your being, right? All the daughters of Allah is the earth who gives birth in the flesh of their bodies, right? So we walked off the paper, now we in the flesh. Now comes the hard part. Because now, like the mayor's administration, we got the black mayor's administration, and I'm telling y'all, he's ready to unite the seed. He's ready to unite with us. Because it's our plan that will be the foundation for Black Harlem, for Black Mecca, which is disappearing. Understand what's happening. Spanish Harlem is growing. Dominican narco dollars, no knock on anybody, has allowed them to come from 155th to come all the way downtown, and they buying everything. If you look at 125th Street, you don't see Black Harlem. You see Jews, Arabs, and everybody. But what happens when you go to Chinatown? Do you see a Spanish business? No, you say Chinese business. When you go to Little Italy, do you see a black business? No, you see Italian businesses. And do you think, pardon me for that, do you think that those people pay for that square mileage? No, they didn't. And so the same way that those people have established a Little Italy, Little Korea, a Little China, is the same way this nation and all the black people in New York City is waiting for us to be the power, to be the foundation, to be the cornerstone of Black Mecca. Because that's what Black Harlem is going to be. We sit on the backside of the Apollo Theater. Just imagine if we reestablish with this administration